everybody, it's Amber and I have an idea. I want to make some simple cards and I want to make them in like a kind of a different way today. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy this video, experiment with me with this idea that I have to make some cards with double-sided 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. So the collection I'm working with today is the Maggie Holmes Sunny Days collection, and I did a video sharing this entire collection that I purchased from scrapbook.com, so I'll put it up here in case you missed that haul. Like I mentioned, I want to make some cards in a different way today, so I want to try to utilize as much double-sided paper as I can. So yes, this is pattern cardstock, but I mean I'm not going to use a card base and then decorate it. I'm actually going to be using this paper for the entire card. So if you did see that haul, you know that I got some of the embellishments and some stickers and all kinds of fun stuff to go with this collection. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that this sheet right here from the collection is going to be like the star of the show. And I had this idea and I've had it for a long time, ever since I started to fall in love with photoreal paper, scrapbook paper, where they come out with these photoreal images in their paper. These ones happen to be black and white, which I love. They're like beach scenes. Love them. But I've been buying, that's one of my favorite types of scrapbook paper to buy, is the kind that has like the images, the real images. So this is going to be the star of the show. I have some ideas. I really like the really super feminine, girly, flowery touch with like this on top. Isn't that so gorgeous? So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I think I want the cards to be pretty big, so I'm gonna make them 5 by 7. So for that, if you have a paper, I mention this a lot in my videos, if you have a paper that like is a certain orientation, like this one to me should be like up and down like this, because if it's like this, it would still look pretty, but it's kind of sideways. So because of that, I'm going to cut this down to 10 inches. Width-wise, I'm going to cut it to 10 inches. Okay, so there's 10. Definitely save this because you're going to need it for your cards. Then the height should be 7 inches. And so I'm just going to take this and do 7 inches. And again, save the scrap. So now we have a piece that measures 10 by 7. So 10 inches wide by 7 inches tall. So that's what we're going to work with, the size of card, and then the other side is really pretty too. So it's double-sided. So next thing we're going to do is just fold this in half. You can use your scoreboard if you want to make the lines nice and crisp and perfect, but I just don't have my scoreboard out right now, so I'm just going to fold this in half. Use my bone folder to kind of guide where the edge is. Line up those corners and just fold that in half. So isn't that like a really pretty card base? This is going to be our card base. Oh my goodness. So a little tip. I get this question so often. 2 things. Let me just give you 2 tips really fast. When I say I'm using scrapbook paper, I'm using pattern cardstock. Most scrapbook companies put their papers out, and it's a pretty nice and sturdy cardstock. Now, it just varies with company. Crepe paper, I really like the sturdiness of their paper. There are those paper pads out there that are just the printer copy weight. Those are usually like the big thick ones that have like 180 sheets or 160, but your average just everyday scrapbook paper pad is pattern cardstock. So this is a good sturdy base for a card. Okay, so the other tip I have is crepe paper, American crafts paper. I find, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I find that it is great to use for folding projects because it rarely cracks. I've used crepe paper for just different craft fair projects and stuff, and it hardly ever cracks. I mean, it does a little bit, but it's really actually great smooth paper slash cardstock. So I just really recommend it. Anyways, so here's our card base, and I like the size of it. I'm actually going to go ahead and make a bunch of this size. So same thing with your paper, make them 10 inches by 7 inches and fold them in half. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with a few more of my sheets. Okay, so I just cut down and folded a ton more card bases. So here they all are. I'll show them here. This is so much fun, and this is totally a use up your paper project. So if you don't have a lot of double-sided paper that you want to use up, then you can go ahead and still make cards, but you can just cut panels out and put them on regular cardstock if you're trying to savor your pattern paper. But of course, this is my Use Your Paper Up series. This is a great tip to use up a bunch of your 12 by 12 double-sided paper. So those are our card bases, and then we have, of course, the scraps left. So we've got these and all the designs and the strips, of course. And then I went ahead and took that sheet that I showed you and I cut all of the images out. So you can definitely utilize these. And what I did is I got the rest of my embellishments out that I have for this collection, and I put it in my favorite little tray that I use for my ephemera. So I have the ephemera pack for the Sunny Days collection, and I just emptied it all into this little tray right here. So all the really pretty ephemera that I can use to decorate my cards. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the images that I cut out in this little middle tray. And then I also have the washi and these gems. So I'll just stick that there in case I want to use it. And then I also have, I pulled the chipboard stickers, the regular cardstock stickers, and then these fun ones. And these are cool because they have like some words in there and some little icon stickers. So I pulled all that stuff out. But before we start decorating and making these all cute, let me show you an easy way that you can kind of mass produce these. Do like an assembly line style, so they'll go a lot faster. And that's what I like to do for my craft fair. So this is a great craft fair idea if you're trying to make cards, really cute cards, but streamlined and kind of like in a fast mass producing way. So grab your first card that you want to work with and put the others aside. And I kind of have a design in mind, and that's what I'm going to stick with, but you can go ahead or you can do different designs on all of them. It's up to you. I just have a design in mind. I thought it would be a little bit easier to think of a design before I try to just go in cold and make these cards. So what I'm going to do is I want to find a piece of paper that is going to cover, it's going to be in the middle here like this, because I still want a lot of this pretty paper to show. So I'm going to go through here, and remember these are double-sided, so try to find one that will complement the paper that you have. And you know, I still want it to be really pattern on pattern. I think that's so trendy right now and cute. And I don't care if it, you know, really doesn't match exactly. If it looks good together, I think this looks really good. So I might pull that one. And then I also want one that's going to kind of go up and down. So let's see here. I'm just trying to gather all my pieces. Maybe a more subtle print for that would work. Not really polka dots at that point. Oh, what if I use that? How would this look? Is that too much, you guys? I think that's so pretty. Okay, I might do that. So let's pull those, and then let me show you what I'm going to cut down and help, you know, the dimensions. But like I said, you can use any design that you want. I just wanted to give you this base idea to use your double-sided scrapbook paper for the card base itself. But I'm going to show you what I have in mind for the measurements on mine. Okay, so for the middle piece, I was just talking about where I want it to kind of be in the middle, but I want this to still show. I want to cut it into like a perfect square. So I know that this is 5 inches wide by 7 inches tall. So I want to make sure that there's at least a ½ inch on each side peeking out. So that's going to be, so let's make this 4 by 4. So 4. And the good thing about having scraps is you can just use all kinds of these scraps for your other cards. So here's 4 by 4. Let me see how that, oh yeah, that's going to be perfect. For the design that I have in mind, this is going to be perfect. And I might change it up depending on what embellishments I put on the front, but we'll do a couple of variations here on video so you can kind of get an idea. And then you can take those, remember the measurements, and then mass produce each style. So there's that one, and then the other paper I pulled was this one. So I want to kind of have it going up and down right there, and it's going to be more of a tall, skinny piece. So I think I'm going to do 2 by 4. So there's 2 by 4. Okay, so I kind of want this maybe sticking up a little bit like that. So it looks weird right now, but it's still gonna, the colors of course look pretty together, but the design looks a little bit weird right now, but I have something in mind, I promise. Now I want to do like a strip coming down this way, a really skinny strip. So I'm gonna take these scraps that we have, and I need one that's gonna be 7 inches that's gonna match what we've got going on here. So this is the fun part. We just get to choose, and I want it to be more of a subtle print. So let's see. What if we incorporated, no, that's too, that doesn't really match. What if I incorporated, oh, what about the other side of that? Do those pinks clash too much? Ooh, I think that might be good. So I'm going to try that one. So for this one, I'm going to cut it down to 1 by 7. First, I'll cut it 7. Sorry, my husband's watching TV in there if you can hear it. So let's see, 1 inch by 7 inches. So just a real skinny strip, and it's gonna go the whole length of the card. Okay, so let's see how this looks so far. So I've got my strip over here. I do want a little bit of this peeking out. Then we've got our square piece. And then I've got this piece that's going to be slightly higher than the square. So how is that looking? I think it looks really good. My vision is kind of coming together. And then we get to embellish this. But before we do that, the main star of the show, like I said, were these photoreal images. And the realist images look so good against the very feminine, soft colors. And so let me just go through here and see which one I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue all these pieces down except for this one, and I want this one to be a little bit dimensional. So I don't know if I'm going to take a piece of my Recollections 110-pound cardstock and just mat it on there with no border, just to kind of raise it up a little bit. So because this paper is so thick, it'll give it a little bit of dimension. So I might do that, or I might use, you know, I've got the dimensional adhesive I can use. So it just depends, but I can even add more words. I've got all these cute little ephemera pieces, and I think they're so fun to work with. So let me glue these down, and then we're going to make another design. Okay, so I finished the cover of the card. I hope you guys like it. I think this design is so pretty and I love the layers, but it's still very simple. I just added a couple of gems over here, but you can use enamel dots, and actually I kind of wish they were enamel dots. I have some in my stash somewhere, so I'll have to dig those out. Now we need to do something with the inside. This one happens to be okay because it's kind of subtle, so you can still write a message, but I still want to go ahead and matte the inside, so there's a specific place for the message. Gray would be perfect because look, it matches the image, and gray on pink looks so pretty. So for the inside, I am going to cut this down to 6 by 4. So now you have a nice matte piece for your sentiment. And there it is. Isn't that so pretty? But that's just kind of plain for me. So what I'm going to do is add some washi tape. I'm going to have the same washi tape that I put on the front. And you guys know how I do this. This is inspired by Cynthia. She's at the Scrappy Bookworm 1. She used to do this all the time on her projects. She would make a really cute corner of washi. Just little accents of washi everywhere. And it's also inspired by Danny at Pop Biz Paper. She does this a lot too. And so just gonna take 3 kinds of washi, and I really love these 3 colors together. They go well with the card. I'm gonna put some more adhesive on the back just to secure it better, because sometimes washi tape is not that sticky and it won't stay permanently. So now I have this like messy piece of washi, and what I like to do is clean up one side. And you saw me do this when I was making the card. I like to clean up one side at an angle. Oops. Cut that. And then leave this side organically torn. So I'm just going to tear that side. So I think it looks really artsy that way. And I think what I'm going to do is either put it here. Yeah, I'm going to do it on the side here. Just make sure you don't obstruct that middle fold. And now it looks like the washi is kind of holding that in, and I love it. It's super handmade looking. And I said I was going to just do one more thing, but I really am going to do 2 more things. So I have one more thing to do, and that is to grab my little sticker book, and I'm going to put 1 sticker accent on the corner of this mat. Maybe I'll just do that on this card. That's super cute. Just a little accent down there and some washi on the side, and there is the card. So this is a great way to use up your 12 by 12 paper. I'm going to show you how to make one more card design so you can mass produce. Okay, so for the next design that I have for you, it's just one of your card bases. So I chose this one because this is one that I am okay covering up a little more of it than I did on the first one we made. So the pieces that you're going to cut are a piece that measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and it's going to go like this. And then a piece that measures 3 1/2 by 4 1/2, and it's going to go kind of like off center like this. And then your focal point. So of course I'm using another one of these really cute kind of postcard things that I cut from the collection, and that's going to go somewhere like that. And then of course we're going to decorate it all up just like we did our first one. So this is like the other card design that I had in mind. So let me glue this down and then we can start working on decorating it. Okay, everybody, so there's my 2 cards. I am going to mass produce the ones that I folded that I showed you earlier in the video and make a bunch more of these. These are so fun to make, and I love that I'm using up a bunch of my 12 by 12 double-sided paper. So that's another idea for you to use up your paper stash. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see all of the cards completed, I will be posting them in the next few days on my Instagram page. So if you want to see all the cards that I've completed, go ahead and check me out over on Instagram, and I'll leave my handle name here across the screen, and I'll also link it below for you. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!